Right, action.
We are live. Cheers, by the way.
Cheers. Cheers, man.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. Cheers to Tom as well. He's in the back. How are you, Saul? Long time, brother.
Yo, I'm doing great, man.
How's things? How's your 2020 been with Corona and that? Because I've not seen you in a while.
Yeah. It's been... Fuck, you know. I've been working, to be fair.
Working.
Yeah, like, how do you call it? Like, in warehouses and stuff.
Oh, yeah. So what, were you furloughed with Manhattan and then you were just still working on the side as well? Yeah. Putting a graft in then.
I had to, like, you know, paying bills and stuff. And with my clothing thing, I had to like, get some extra money from somewhere.
Has it made an impact, like, take Corona away? Would you still been able... Was it harder for you to get the business going and get back on its feet?
I think it was harder. It was hard with Corona, but I think it was needed.
Needed, yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but it just pushed people, you know. I read loads of books. I wouldn't have read books. I would have been out somewhere, you know what I mean? But yeah, it kept me concentrated on doing what I'm doing.
Definitely, the hard times definitely, like, it shows you who you are and shows you where you need to get for sure. So,
for sure. By
by the way, because we're skipping a little bit, Temperatura. Is that correct? The correct pronunciation?
Say it again.
Temperatura.
Yeah,
Come on.
that's perfect.
Obviously, this material, this hoodie, peng, everything on the website, everything that Saul's dropped, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
How did it get started, man? For you, how did you know you wanted to go into fashion, let alone just start the brand? So just start from how you got into fashion.
Way back from Italy. I moved here like 4 years ago. So I was born in Ghana and me and my family moved to Italy 2006.
How long were you
eight.
in Ghana for? 8, yeah.
I was 8 when I moved to Italy.
What was the change like?
It was rough because I didn't speak Italian. I met this guy, man. First day of my school, I will never forget. Fred. He has a brand as well, flamboyant, cool guy. So I met him the first day of school. I met him and he directed me. He's Ghanaian as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
He spoke to me.
Did you speak English as well?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so you spoke English, so it kind of helped a little bit or not? Yeah.
So he took me to the classes and, you know, he get me going and how do you call it? Superiori, how do you call it?
Like high school.
High school, high school. I was studying graphical. It's a
Graphical communication,
design,
yeah.
And
decided it wasn't really for you.
No, it was for me, but I was always seeing like how close people like literally there's more like people who like smoke, you know, the cool guys are the cool, the guys who smoked,
yeah,
they school, you know, they dress in a certain way, and the guys who study they dress in a certain way. So I was just always trying to, you know, see, and well, the biggest impact like I have of like dressing is my cousins, because I was always like willing to go out, and my cousins like were always out, so sometimes I would just jump out my window at home and they'll pick me up when we go just, you know, clubbing and stuff.
So you were like sort of idolizing, looking up to the way they were, because they were older, as assumed, so you were just attracted to the fashion sense.
Yeah.
It is a very, like, fashion is huge in Italy as well, obviously. It's like that.
Yeah, man, it's beautiful, and I had a thrift shop near my house as well, so I used to buy clothes, you know, and then show my friends and be like, yo, I got this one. Yo, you want it? And I would tell them I bought it for like, you know, €5 or something. I'll sell it for more.
Obviously, smart thinking.
Yeah. From there, you know, but I wouldn't sell it to everybody.
Yeah.
I would say like, you know, these jeans, I think will be good on him.
So how old are you when you were doing all this? High school time, so what, you were like 14?
Well, yeah, 15, 14. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So then how did you think of, when did you make that transition of, okay, selling clothes to then being like, oh, I want my own brand. And how did you get to the name Temperatura and all that sort of stuff?
The moment I don't think it just was a build up from when I finished my graphical class. I didn't even finish. I was in my 4th year. It was like 5 years. So it was my 4th year and I moved to UK. And I've always been a fan, man. Virgil Abloh is, bro. He's the guy I look up to, and I always loved clothes, you know. So I started drawing.
Really, yeah.
I started drawing clothes, drawing logos, you know, and
just experimenting, just playing around.
Yeah, just playing around. And one day in school, when I was here in class, GCSE class, maths, I was just not paying attention, like, and I was drawing, drawing, and I just wrote temperatura. It just came in my head, like,
It came to your head.
like that. You know, something coming out like temperatura. I just draw it. It's like, I started just with the logos, and I went home that day. I just
Fixated.
sketched
Never look back.
everything, sketch, and I was like, yeah, this has to happen.
Yeah.
This was like, what, 3 years ago? Yeah.
3 years ago. So you've now gone from, in 3 years, finding out the name of it to now officially having an official product. How does that feel to like see? Obviously, you've just given me this as a bit different. But how does it feel to see people buying your clothes and just the whole process of it? Like I can imagine all the stress and all the hard work pays off when you just see someone wearing your clothes and you think, oh yeah, sick.
Yeah, it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing. The first proper photo shoot I had was with Val, and I remember I invited like 3 girls, and none of them like showed up. I was like, what the fuck?
How come none of them showed up?
I don't know, like problems. I couldn't come. Just excuses in it. I was like, man, yo, Val. I need someone. And Val invited Jada, beautiful girl, and yeah, man.
I seen there was Evan as well, wasn't he?
He was on the second shoot.
Yeah.
Shout out Evans.
Yeah. So Val came in and just Val did his magic, man. That shot there with the temperature right.
Oh yeah.
That's my favorite shot. So yeah.
Have you done any modelling at all, or just kind of winged it?
Here and there.
Yeah. He's open when temperature gets big. You could be the model.
Something like that. Nah, but
He's a pro. He's a pro in modeling. But yeah, he just bring up Jada, and I just call the crew and where was it? Batley? No, not Batley.
It was in Batley.
Batley.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had a photo shoot there. It was beautiful. Man.
Do you live far away from Batley? I actually don't know whereabouts you live in Leeds.
We had a taxi. 10 minutes, 15 minutes in taxi.
Oh, that's not so bad. So is it like past other side of town, like past Chapeltown ways?
No.
Or other way.
The other way.
Other way, yeah.
Near Bradford.
Yeah. Oh shit, yeah, mate. I always think that Bradford sounds like it's far away, but it's really not. My best friend Z, like he literally lives. He's from Bradford. It's literally like 15 minutes in the taxi as well.
You can get a
but it feels like I don't know why. Like when you sat here thinking, oh, let's go to Bradford. They go, mate, it's far away.
Yeah,
it's literally not even that far.
It sounds far, but it's not far. Yeah.
So obviously, I know you because I know we just spoke about it before, but we worked at Manor Hatter.
Yeah.
Well, my experience wasn't as fun as your experience. You've probably been there for 4 years, but I did not enjoy those nights. Like I feel as though, for people that don't know, Manor Hatter is a bar owned by a big chain called Arc. But as a bartender, I mean, you had it hard as well, being like at the bar back. Yeah, bar back.
I was dealing with glasses and stuff.
I started off as a bar back and then transitioned to being a bartender. But I'm telling you, like, you get there at 5 p.m. and you don't leave until 8 a.m. the next day, and then you do the same the next day. Not fun. Like the fun part about it was getting drinks for free.
Yeah, getting drinks.
Nice girl, classy case. It was fun in the moment, like though between like 12 to 3 when you've already had too much to drink, so you're just in the flow of it. But then as soon as that 3 o'clock comes and the doors are shut, they're like, oh, time to clean. I was just like, fuck.
Man.
And
to clean off. Oh.
Mate, that place used to get trashed as well. Literally, no one give a fuck. The amount of broken glasses that people would fucking just.
I'm not gonna lie, we had the best fun. Like we had when we finished, I put on the music.
The music, yeah.
Dancing, me, Michael, fucking.
You were a ball of energy at the end of a shift. It's needed. You needed to have that ball of energy.
Me and Michael was the duo. Dancing like Usher and Chris.
We'd always get pissed off as well because the box staff, they'd close an hour early, and then when we were fucking cleaning up, they'd come in and try to put their music on.
Like,
what's
you
all
guys
that
close,
about?
like, that's finished.
You've done your job. Let us do our job now. It's annoying.
Yeah, trust me.
So what have you got planned for Temperatura? Like, do you set out your goals as long-term goals or short-term goals, and if so, what are they?
I definitely long-term goals. Definitely. This is what I want to do. Like
for your life, like
I don't see nothing else. Like I'm working just to support this.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
the way you have to be.
This is what I want to do, and I'm already working on the next release after April.
And
the summer one as well. That's the one that's gonna be.
What can you reveal? That's not too.
shorts
Shorts.
and sneakers.
I seen that you put
That's
your
all.
logo on some Air Forces, didn't you?
Yeah, I
like.
got them right now.
Oh yeah, come
Yeah,
on.
those.
Nah, they're sick. Did you do them? Do you do any of the products yourself by hand or?
No, I got a guy who how do you call it? Fucking drawing them. That's his job.
Because the thing is, like, as much as I love fashion, I don't really know what I'm talking about when it comes to fashion. So even though I know that, like, say you buy the materials from somewhere abroad, like how does it come about? How do you go from thinking of an image to drawing it? Like, what's the process that it goes through?
The process is well, for the big companies, they just have it. They just have materials. Virgil Abloh is registered in California, but he's
In Italy.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know he's almost in Italy. He's always in Italy, in Milan. So it goes from an idea, of course, and then you just draw it down, like I do. You just draw it down, and
If you can sit back
The
just for
first
the
time-
mic.
yeah,
Sorry, my
sorry.
bad.
sorry, the first time I did, I was just browsing around for companies, textile, and I was, oh, okay, they have this. You search the materials and you get samples, because if you just decide, okay, I
Yeah.
want you 50 of those, and they come and they're not the right
You
quality,
wasted the money.
Yeah, it costs a lot, but you have to get samples.
Of course.
You have to have people to try it on for you, because maybe it's comfortable for you, but if you put it on a model, you'll be like, not really.
So there's a lot of things to think about just in terms of the
Yeah, man.
material, and I can imagine it's a stressful process when you're trying to look for the perfect one, and there's so many
Yeah,
companies out there, and you're still trying to find the right one.
Yeah, because you can't just think about just a design on a shirt and that's it. You have to think about the quality, the how much is comfortable, the durability, the labels, that fucking hell, yo,
The smallest things, yeah.
yo, everything. That makes it just a good thing. You can just do it, go to a fucking print somewhere and print it. That would be okay. But if you really on a brand and stuff, the details really matter.
For sure. So
Really.
I've noticed that the small fine details, even like I've had so many people that have like given me tips about little things, about just like little things in a camera shot or
Yeah.
little things about your mic, like the small things, like I said, add up to the big details.
100%.
So are you the lead designer, and is it just you that designs everything, and then you have other people working for you that help put that together, or?
It's just me.
Solo, I like
me
it.
and me. I wanted to recruit people to help me, but I was just doing it myself, and I was like, I'm good for myself for now, but you cannot go nowhere by yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Bro, you can do your best. It's just not gonna work. I had people, a friend helping with the graphics for the sneakers, graphics for helping with the website. I asked for advices. You always have to learn. But
For sure, and it's also hard as well, because like when you've got your own thing, you've got your own clothing brand, you've got your own ideas. It's also hard to like
for other people,
for your own ego as well. It's like because you in your head you're thinking, oh, I know what's best.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know the best idea. But like you said, having people there to help you, like it does make a difference, and you do need help along the way, because you don't want to be stuck in that tunnel vision, and then before you know it, you've had loads of people offering you help, and because you just said, oh no, then you get to a point you're like, oh shit, need some help, and then there's no one there.
I know. I can be like working on the bus, walking, idea just pop out of my head. I just put it down, drawing, But after 2 weeks, I go on my phone, like, shit, why not I don't see,
Yeah.
So other people there just, putting
So
down.
what do you do to get inspiration? Like, is it one of those things where to be creative, you just, when it comes to you sort of thing, or do you dedicate any time to specifically trying to think of things, or?
Jazz music. Jazz music. I love jazz music. Hip hop music, I listen to it, man. Trap music, but jazz is just put you in the right spot. It just makes you drawing. I think about Italy, about.
Is it hard for you, like
Experiences.
being away from Italy or being away from Ghana?
It was hard at first when I moved from. It wasn't hard from Ghana, because I was a kid, obviously, but from Italy, it was hard the first year. I moved in Leeds, but then I met fucking Val, the other guys.
Did you come out here with all your family, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, with all your family.
Everybody,
Yeah. So it's just like the lifestyle, and I presume you got loads of friends back in
Yeah.
Italy.
Yeah. And now I go to Italy just for vacation.
Yeah.
Like people come London for vacation.
Yeah. You
Now
go
I
to Italy. Whereabouts in Italy are you from?
Brescia.
I'm pretty sure we've talked about this, but I
Yeah,
don't.
Brescia, North Italy.
North Italy.
Just an hour train from Milan.
So I found out my grandmother and from my dad's side, they're from Caltagirone, and then which is in the north, I believe, and then Torino as well.
Torino. Oh,
Yeah.
That's where I'm from.
Yeah. I've never been myself. Like I've literally only ever been to Venice and Milan when I was really small, so I don't even remember it. But anyone that knows me know, like I love the Italian culture. Like the Italian culture. I don't know. Have you ever been to Malta before or not? But like Malta is basically like a little Italy with a bit of English like tradition into it, because the English like were in control of the island for so long. But for me, like I would love nothing more than to learn Italian fluently and retire in the
First time
north.
I was working there, I was speaking Italian with Michael. This guy understood, like he was talking like every word he said like perfectly.
That's mad.
Like come stai?
It's because the Maltese language anyway is a bit rough and Arabic, so the pronunciation of the language in itself kind of helps me. And also, I've been around Italians all my life. My dad can speak fluent Italian as well, so for me, I don't find it hard to like get that pronunciation, which is the key thing kind of when you learn a language, because you can learn a language, but if it doesn't sound like you're doing it properly, you're not doing it properly, if that makes sense. But I'd love to. We still never did. We said we were going to do an Italian night where we were going to cook loads of pasta. We still never did it.
Oh, I forgot, you know.
We've got to do that though. I will still do that one time.
Yo,
We'll get Michael and Nevan as well. We'll have a full like Manhattan reunion.
We should do that, man. We should do that.
So you said you didn't. You said the first year you struggled when you moved from Italy to Leeds.
Yeah.
How come? What was your struggle like? What were you struggling
Because
for?
I really didn't know everybody, like anybody. Like I never heard of Leeds.
How come you decided to move to Leeds? Was it just the family decided to move up
Yeah,
here?
my dad. That was his plan, like for us to move in Italy and then move here. That was his plan, to be fair.
Did he not like it in Italy?
Italy is the most beautiful country in the world, in my opinion. But
It's got a really bad racism problem, hasn't it?
It's not even about the racism. The government just don't help young people. You know, here you can just come up with an idea and work on it. You can actually do it. Like I came here, I saw a young black girl working in a bank. I never seen that in my life.
Really?
Bro, that doesn't exist in Italy, man. Now things are changing. Now things are changing, and hopefully, you know, it will be equal for everybody to do whatever they want. But
I've seen from what my dad and my grandmother have told me, like the political system in Italy is just so broken. Like I think they even told me there was a time, I could be butchering this completely, but there was literally a space of like 5 years where there was about 3 or 4 different general elections in Italy, because they just kept on changing the parliament and shit.
Yeah.
And as well, I saw a documentary on Vice that showed that since the coronavirus pandemic, because no one's really been like taken care of or looked after, all the mafia crimes shot back up again, because people are left with the choice of, I'm out of a job now, nothing I can do. There's no support from the government. What's the closest thing to me?
Expect us to do? Yeah, man.
It's mad.
There's people like telling me like people who move from Italy for the best life are like kind of cowards, because at the end of the day, us as the generation, we should, you know, fight against it, like do something about it. Like there's always like gonna be young people in Italy, like you know. During this Black Lives Matter thing after the George Floyd accident,
Wasn't an accident, definitely.
No, I take that back. they went in the they met together and they just talked about it, and they protests.
But nothing ever came of it.
So many people, but Italy's Italy, man. Italy is growing up there.
It's difficult.
It's just you just get used to it.
But that's so fucked up though. Like I speak to so many people that like unfortunately have to like go through racist encounters probably every day. Yeah. But it's because it's so normalized, and I'm presuming it's the same for you guys. Like you've probably been taught it from your parents and your grandparents to kind of be used to it. Yeah. But I think like coming from like for me, where I've literally never had to worry about any of that sort of stuff. I just think it's fucking crazy that that's how the psyche is with people of different colour than to white people, because we've got a privilege that so many people don't even realise they have.
It's mad, and I know like people with beautiful hearts. I've been helped so many times. Well, this guy there, Michele, and his dad, Gian Mario, I was part of a basketball team. And for 10 years, I played basketball. And they always been helping me. I didn't pay the fucking fee 1 year, like, ever. And 1 year, the coach paid me the camp.
Oh, did he?
It was beautiful. So I know good people.
Oh, for sure.
People,
for sure. And this is the thing where even though it sounds like there's a lot of negativity in the world, but at the same time, like, you're gonna get negativity anywhere. And as long as you can, like, the only thing that you can do is surround yourself with people that are positive. Yeah. And the only thing that you can do is, like, you can try and maybe not. What's the word I'm looking for? Maybe teach people that maybe aren't as open-minded, or like just say friends that come from different backgrounds. I think it's so important to learn from them and to pass that along to anyone you meet, because that's the only thing you can do as a person, is as long as you can influence people to make change from within your circle, you're making the only difference that you can do.
At the end of the day, it's what you taught. You can grow up in a house and not know certain things, but when you go out, you see different stuff, and you always think it like it's what your parents told you. But you have to be open-minded these days. 100%.
Everything always changes as well. Like our parents' generation, as much as we should look up to them and take so much advice from them, at the same time they grew up in a different world, different world to what it is now. And the world, like we've seen, has changed so much in the last year itself.
Like in Italy, like the old the old people in Italy, they can like fucking call you a nigger, but for them it's like saying cute boy.
Yeah.
Like from where they from the era where they lived, it's mad. Like they can call you, hey negretto.
It's so
for them it's like
it's nothing. Yeah. The generation they grew up
funny,
in.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something that's mad. My grandmother, right? She's about 70 now, so she's like the proper old school British type of family, and they lived in Brixton, and they remember the first black family moving into their area in Brixton, and my cat, my nan's cat, was literally called the N-word. And the way she found out was because she was outside calling the cat's name, and she seen the family moving in next door, and that's how they found out. But like thinking now, like, how bad is that? Like, that's not good. But again, it just goes back to the whole generational thing of that being accepted. No one even batted an eyelid.
But I get, because I know some old people, man. Italy has Italy. So many old people in Italy, man. They live good. Like they live, really.
It's called obviously. Sorry, it was being like televised, isn't it? Obviously, in newspapers and everything, it was normal back in the days.
It's correct. To be fair, I think it kind of still is. Like, you still see it. Like, you look at the Daily Mail, like they're constantly feuding racism, like what's the word, subliminally. Like it's like the whole attack on people like Raheem Sterling for literally doing nothing. It's just a constant the media attacks on people that are a different colour and have been successful is crazy. It's just, again, it just goes back to I've talked about on a lot of my podcasts, but it just goes back to the systemic problems that have been put in place that are put there for people to not succeed. It's just the world that we live in, unfortunately. So you posted that there was that American influencer, Ebony. What's his name? E-Baby. That's it. I don't know that well, but I wanted you to talk about it, because the guy's got a fucking big following. He's got 220,000 followers, and he was someone that you've looked up to for a while, and he was on your list, wasn't he? You had a list of people that you wanted to wear your products. Come on, man. It's that list is still never ending, by the way. The list, keep that list, bro. People will still be wearing it.
It's mad. I was it was the first time, so I didn't have my even first lunch yet. I was just, sketching, and I was planning the first drop, and I was like, who would I wish to wear my clothes? Like, I don't know, Virgil Abloh, Wade's kid, Stormzy, and the funny guys,
of course.
And I was like, man, I looked up this guy, man, E-Baby. Let me put it down as well. And 2 months ago, I started, random DMing people.
You got to do that though. Like, this is what people don't understand. Sorry to interrupt your story, but I would not be in my position right now if I didn't go out of my way to message people to come on my podcast, or even take the podcast away, like I've got links in the MMA world that I've made just off of my back, just because I've gone out of my way to message people. Like, you've got to be able to take risks, and you've got to be able to put yourself out there and not be afraid of failing, because the risks is the reward. You get the reward from the risk. If you don't take the risk, then you don't get the reward.
That's what I'm saying. You can't do it by yourself. You can't. It's just, and I started like texting them because I was like, man, everyone's
normal as well.
Everybody.
I literally wrote a list. I've still got a list of podcast guests that I want to get on, and you got to keep it, because it's like you got to manifest it.
Yeah, man.
It's all about manifesting.
If you put out that energy there, one day or the other it will come back in many forms, and it will come back. So I was just doing the list, you know what I mean, and I put his name, and two months ago I just texted him. I was like, yo, I'm doing this, you know, brand thing, and he's Ghanaian as well, you know what I mean. So
what does he do? Is he just a fashion influencer?
He's not even a fashion influencer. He's a host. He's a host. He's a comedian. He started doing funny shows. He's in America now, living his dream, and he hosts events.
Yeah, he's in Atlanta, isn't he?
Yeah. No, he went in Atlanta for this thing, but I don't really know, but he doesn't even.
But yeah, sorry to interrupt your story. You were messaging him.
I messaged him, and he replied back to me the next day. I was sleeping. I was like, nah, fam, what the fuck? I opened it. I was like, yo, he actually replied, and I replied to him, and he was replying like fast. He was on the chat like.
Mate, I bet you were buzzing. Mad. You were buzzing,
bro. I wanted
to tell
somebody. I was like, let me keep it. Maybe it won't work out. You know what? Let me just keep it for me. And the month after he gave me, I was like, yo. I was working in it because I had to, you know, get, you know, samples.
Get the product, yeah.
And then get his size of the, you know, sizes, and then ship it to him. And I was like, yo, I finally got my shit together. What's your, you know, house address? He said it to me. I was like, what the fuck? This actually happened.
Mate, that's, honestly, I'm so happy to hear that something like that has happened to you, because Sol, like, even though we didn't work for each other for a long time, bro, I know that you are such a nice, genuine guy, bro. And you've got, like, a ball of energy. Like I said, anytime I came into a shift, bro, you just fucking always lift me up. So keep doing what you're doing, bro, because like you said, you just got to put yourself out there, and it will come back to you.
Yeah.
You got to do it.
I got to, man. He helped me as well. Like, he been sending me messages as well.
And that's the thing. Like, he doesn't even need to do that.
Yeah.
But because you went out your way to message him, and now he's helping you out.
Yeah.
And
he met loads of like famous people, like with his followers as well, or more. And he was wearing that T-shirt. It's mad, and it's mad, man.
It's crazy, bro. What have you got planned? Obviously, I know you said the next year, but are you ever looking, or is it ever in the back of your mind of thinking about setting up Temperatura like anywhere abroad, or what's like if you got any long term plans, like even if they're not detailed, like
that's my question. I would love to have a shop, man. First of all, I would love to have a shop in Italy, of course. I'm searching for contacts to have, you know, some real textiles from there, because, you know, that's where I want to be based.
Yeah, and do you want it to just be like streetwear, like housewear, or do you want to expand like even the type of clothes that you do?
I really want to expand, because when I was drawing the first drop, I wasn't even thinking about women's wear, like zero. I was like,
you don't put two and two together.
Unisex, I'll do unisex. That's what I would do. But then I drew this the shorts and the tights and the top. I was like, man, they look sick. This is kind of sexy, you know. Yeah, and I let my best friend Renata. She tried it on. I was like, bro, this is sick. This is actually sick. And the shorts sold out. I
was gonna say that didn't that sell out quicker than any of your products? I swear, I remember seeing it on your page that you had a lot of success very quickly on the women's range.
Yeah, the shorts sold out for first, and then the hoodie that he wore, bro, like.
It's a sick hoodie, bro. Like, but I say this, everything that you've done is sick. And I wanted to ask you, where did you get the idea for the locks?
The locks.
Yeah.
It's I don't really like have like a real story.
Yeah.
I was just
cool.
sketching like always. It just comes up, you know. I didn't plan to do it. It just comes up like that, and I think the best ideas come up like that. I was just drawing, and I was just drawing the logos, you know, in like in English.
Yeah.
I told you. I went home. I was just drawing the logos. I drew this logo, and I really like it. I drew out the logos, but then I saw this. Drew a lock, and I drew the heart in the lock, and I was like, yeah. And there was one day I was with this my boy's house, Franco. He's the one of the guys really helping me, and I was his house, and he had a mate who was moving to Italy. He was moving back to Italy. He didn't like it here, and I had this laptop. He had a Photoshop.
Yeah.
I didn't have the laptop back then, so I was like, okay, 1 minute. He was literally like preparing stuff for the the next 2 days or to go back to Italy. I was like, okay, give me a second, and I was drawing. Was just sketching on Illustrator, and I put this lock and the hat and the lock, and I put it on a t-shirt on the on the image, and I was like, yeah man, I see it. I showed it to Frank. I was like, what do you think? He goes, no. And what he thinks really matters to me. You know what I mean? He's like 2 years older, a year older than me, so I was like, damn, like I really believed in that. I went around and was like, nah, fuck him, I don't care what he thinks. I'm gonna do it. And I did it, and I did it, and I did it. And this...
Sometimes you got to follow your own gut, even though you've got people around you that are going to give you the best advice. Sometimes it's okay to admit sometimes that you're right, and sometimes you're wrong. Like, you got to be able to admit in the times where you think, if you believe in something so special, and you've got something inside of you telling you to go for it, then you've got to go for it. I was going to ask you, because obviously, like you said, you've been working, even though you were furloughed, you still took on another job to obviously support your brand. And I was going to ask if there's anything that you can tell to people. It's just like, what do you find as motivation? Because obviously financially it's so difficult, I can imagine, to keep afloat. And even for me, like, or for a lot of students that might be listening out there, like, people are just so, they want success quick. And they're very quick to start complaining when things aren't going their way. And there was a post that my MMA coach, he runs the gym that I used to train at, AVT, Danny Mitchell. He posted a photo of him, like, I think it was like 10 years ago, where he was sleeping on a gym mat in his gym, where like it was like cold, and he literally had to light a fire to stay warm and all that sort of stuff. And basically in his post, he was basically just talking about how you kind of got to embrace being broke and embrace the struggle, because if you don't go through that, then you don't understand how hard it is to get to where people want to be. And it's just...
You have to say that one more time.
Exactly, bro.
It's people have to get that.
People just want quick success, and they don't want to put the work in.
No. I've been buying scratch cards, fucking lottery. No, it doesn't work like that. It's once you find something you really, really, really like, and you just start it. It's just... You just feel it. You know when you want something, even though you don't feel like you're doing something, somebody could be out there looking at your things and be like, oh yeah man, I really put them on the list, you know.
For sure.
If you put yourself out there, man, it's gonna work, and you really have to believe in yourself.
You have to believe in yourself, and you got to just stick through it, and
you have to
take those losses, because the losses, like, you win and you learn. Like, you've got to embrace it all.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say to you, like, you said, like, this whole coronavirus thing has made you, like, maybe a bit hungrier, and that. I can probably vouch for that as well, because I think it's made a lot of people realise, like, everyone is in the same boat, in the sense that everyone's like, oh shit, nothing to do. Everyone's stuck with their own time, their own thoughts, and it makes you think about what you've been up to in the last 2 years. Or, like, for me personally, it made me realise a lot of things. Like, I've been here for over 3 years now by myself, and even though I've been having my fun and I've been going out, I've been partying for like the last few years, and I've got to uni, which is what I wanted to do. At the same time, there's also, like, it clicked in my head. I was like, don't forget the purpose of you being here. You can have the fun, and that's also finding the balance in your life is having fun, but then also not getting caught up in having too much fun and still being serious, because you can do both, but you just got to balance it out.
Distraction. I think the distraction is what separates people from what they want to get. Because you can really want something and work. You can have the talent, man, but distraction can just ruin everything. Like this example, like Lil Baby, he didn't even know he wanted to rap. Young Thug saw his potential before he saw it, and he took that distraction away from him, and fucking he's Lil Baby now.
You got to go with the flow.
Yeah.
It's mad. Like, I think we'll tap into the whole distraction thing, because football. If we talk about football, you look at English footballers. How many English footballers are like 18, 19, and they're talked about, they're going to be the next talent, they're going to be sick, or like, say, look, Dele Alli, making their Premier League debut, smashing it in like 2021, and then they get caught up in the Instagram lifestyle, they get caught up in being in the they get caught up in being in the moment and forgetting that what they need to be focusing on is football. And I know it's completely random, and it's a random way to change the conversation, but like, if you look at fighters or anyone that's come from not England, like if you look at the World Cup, England have only won the World Cup once. Brazil is such a poor country, but they have had success in football because I feel like a lot of footballers, like, it's a life for them. Football is an escape to be successful.
It's more than football for them.
It's exactly more than football for them. And I don't know where I was going with this, but you're on about being distracted and taken away from your success. Yeah. But I feel like there's a lot of that those problems in England, especially because a lot of kids grow up here. Even though obviously there's a lot of areas that are deprived where you're poor, but I feel as the majority of England, everyone's got a pretty easy upbringing, really and truly, compared to the rest of the world, especially. So when you're being brought up and you're 10, 11, you got the latest Xbox or you got the latest iPhone, like, I feel as though because it's drilled from us at a young age, it's hard for people in England to get to a point where they're super successful because they've had everything almost given to them from a young age. So it's like a bit like, I don't know, I feel as though the hunger isn't the same. I could be wrong. That's my own opinion.
No, you're right, man. How is it growing up in Italy, fam? It's different from here, man.
Yeah. Different.
Bro, we didn't have the privilege, like our parents, like he was born there. But my parents moved from Ghana to Italy just for a better life, you know what I mean? And when we got there, my friends from, school and basketball team, they always, went out for cinemas, normal things. Cinemas, went out, and I never got fucking 8 euros, 5 euros pizza. I never got, that money to do my thing.
Definitely.
And I was always mad at who? My parents.
You don't understand when you're younger.
Bro, at this point I'm like, what? They were working hard. My dad was never home. He was working for we were 6 people in the house. He was working for us.
It's so crazy. Oh, are you one of 6? Mate, I'm one of 6. I never realised that. Yeah, my
6 including your parents and your mom, right?
No. So my dad has 6 kids with 3 women.
Oh.
Yeah. My dad can't keep it in his pants. I love him to bits. But he literally had 3 kids with his first wife. He met his first and only wife. Yeah. He married her within 2 weeks of knowing her.
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Whoa.
And then obviously had the 3 kids, and then along the lines met my mum, had me and my brother, and then split up with my mum, and then had one more kid. But I kind of know where you're coming from, because when you're younger, again, you get caught up in them. You see your friends that can afford stuff, and you're like, oh fuck, why can't I have that? Yeah. But it's the older I realise, the same thing with what you're saying about your dad. My dad, I love him to bits, but he wasn't ever really, even though we only lived one road away, he wasn't really that involved in what I was doing in my life. And when you're growing up, you don't understand that, and it's hard to deal with at the time. But I grew up, and looking back now, and even looking back on the situation with my mum, when they're never home or they're always stressed, and you're it's coming from a good place. But again, in the moment, you don't think.
It's why you don't understand.
But it makes it it's definitely made me appreciate growing up. I think it's just a part of growing up where you appreciate and you realise, you look back on things when you were young, you're like, oh fuck, our parents really put us before any of them, and the sacrifices they'd make just to make, like I said, even if it's just the sacrifices my mum would make just to make sure you can have that extra nice €5 pizza, that will set her back a little bit. But it's the little things.
Yeah, man.
But
when you get it, man, you really respect them. You give them respect.
For sure, and you have to respect your elders. I feel like watching podcasts on YouTube and watching Joe Rogan has like opened my eyes up but Joe, honestly, I have learned so much from just listening to Joe Rogan speak, the type of people he's had on, the way he presents himself. But like, I think there's something important to the old phrase of listen and respect your elders. At the end of the day, these people have got a lot more life experience than any of us, anyone that's older than us. So
exactly.
Even though, like I said, we've got to also keep in mind that they grew up in a different time, so you've got to factor that in. At the same time, you do have to respect and listen to your elders, because they're, at the end of the ones, they're trying to give you a platform that either they should have had or didn't have. Like my mate Z, he's really opened my eyes up to a lot of things, because he's 25. I'm only 21, 22 this year. But you got to listen to people when they've been through shit, and that's kind of...
It's just logics, man. Like, they've been through the things that you're going through right now, so they can tell you, you can literally tell you, like, the tricks.
Yeah.
You just have to listen. Like,
definitely.
100%, I believe in that.
One of my, I think is a pretty important topic that I talk about, or I try to talk about, at least on every podcast that I do, is I talk about mental health. I'm very, very open with it. It's very, very close to me. I've got a lot of family members that suffer from it. This year, have you had any struggles? Obviously, being locked down and not being able to really see people, or and if it has, what's been the thing that's got you through it?
I really think that I'm one of those fortunate people who don't have that, but I'm a good listener. So I had people like, you know, suffering through that kind of thing, and it's real, man. It's really real, and I'm a really good listener, like I said. So I always try to help. You know, somehow.
Definitely.
I always try to help, and
you got to be there for for your friends and family.
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel like I'm in a good place, like regarding this topic. So, yeah, man, I feel blessed. I feel blessed with that. But it's always good to listen.
For sure.
If you can't listen, man, you
got to be there,
bro.
You just
have to listen.
And that's the thing. For people that aren't suffering, people that are close to you that look like they might be fine, just you got to always make sure you check up on your friends, because always. You literally never know. Like, always. And you don't want to be one of those types of people that find out too late or realise too late that you could have helped. And obviously, it's not sticking anything deep on anyone, but you've just got to make sure that, like, that's kind of the reason why I also talk about it, because you've got to be able to have open conversations about it, because otherwise there's no way of moving forward, and otherwise the problem just get stacked up and nothing ever gets resolved. Yeah. So good to hear that you're well, brother.
Yeah, man.
Nice
I'm
to know.
good. I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
What have you got for 2021? What if you're gonna watch this podcast this time next year? What do you want to have accomplished?
I want to have accomplished. It might sound stupid, but I want.
Each goal's personal. Nothing stupid.
I want more people to see what I'm doing. So like more followers on Instagram, and you know, to be able to give to influencers more, you know, pieces, and for the people around me to be okay, man. Like he's striving to do his thing, so I hope he gets his thing, you know, at the end of the year. And this is our year for me. You can really make this happen. Like anything you want to do, man. Just
you're the only person stopping yourself.
100%. It's you. It's just you.
It's all about how much you want it. I seen a quote. I can't remember who posted it on their Insta story. I think it might have been NSEI. And it was a quote from a book, and it was, if you don't start today, then that's your problem already. You got to start from somewhere. Because if you keep delaying it, then eventually you're going to get down the line and you're going to say, oh shit, it's too late.
Exactly.
You've got to start from today. And even if it's a little thing, that's the other thing. People, me myself included, you get caught up in wanting to do too much too quickly, and you kind of burn yourself out, or else you see, like, you do loads of little bits of work, but because you haven't seen a massive improvement or a massive change, you start thinking, oh, is it working, is it not? But it's literally that the smallest things all add up in the end, and it's a start.
Yeah, man. And what I believe also is there's literally no excuses. There is no, bro. There can be a guy without a leg driving. There are guys without hands, bro. They're cooking. Like, there's no excuse. You can go online and find so many motivation to candidates. You can just you healthy. You can go working.
Definitely,
you know what I mean?
And I think that's also another.
It sounds simple, but
I know exactly what you mean. I think that's also another thing that I've learned from listening to people from struggle and to listening to people that have gone through a lot of shit. it is motivating. Because if you look at someone, say Darren G is someone that I've been following for a while now. The guy's been in prison for like 20 years, had people like constantly after him. Obviously he's done his own shit as well, but seeing someone go through so much hell and still study it, breathing, that is enough motivation. Or else if you just think, like it sounds a bit weird, he says that his motivation is just thinking about kids in Africa that are struggling and have literally have nothing, and their joy of the day is getting water. Like the little things make you realize how lucky you are. Like I feel as though a lot of people don't realize the lucky position they're in. They don't realize it because they're not exposed. I always tell my friends,
man, we're lucky. Like
so lucky.
In Italy, I always tell them, like, bro, we are lucky to be in this era. First of all, we're lucky to be alive. We're lucky to have all that we have, and we always, be like, oh fuck, I don't have this, man. Like, fuck. You can actually be happy with all you got. Like, it's
for
crazy.
Sure. And
you always have something more than somebody else.
And I think it also ties into the mindset. Like the last year, I've really, really noticed how the mindset is just so ridiculously important, and a lot of people flog it like it's nothing. Like you have got to be mentally strong and also mentally in check for you to like. I don't know where I'm going with this, but your mindset is what sets you apart from other people. You've got to be able to, like, at the end of the day, like I said, it goes back to you are the only person stopping yourself from getting anywhere. You've got to be able to battle inside your head and push through and believe in yourself. And if you go to anyone that's successful, and that's what I've learned, what do they tell you? The one thing that's going to get you somewhere is your mindset. Yeah. And I think it's a bit sad that there are people out there that like get to their 20s and they're like, I don't know what I want to do. My advice to anyone that is in that headspace where you're like, you don't know what to do, find something that you love, because you don't want to get to a point where you just get sucked into that 9 to 5 work and then like you just don't get out of it because it's not fun, man.
Now, you just gonna work to live. I don't want that.
Nah.
No. If this doesn't work out, I'll have to find something else.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
But
so yeah, there's no excuse, man. Like literally, there's no excuse.
That's a good way to close up the podcast.
Yeah,
so man, been a pleasure, bro.
My pleasure, man.
I hope everything goes well for you, man. You deserve the world, and
you deserve.
I really
do
think
you're really doing a good job, man.
Temperatura is gonna be big one day. Fresh hoodie, comfy. Get yours. What's the website? Have you got shit on the website?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
What's the website?
www.temperatura.com. Yeah, man.
Get some shit. He's gonna have 2 big drops.
Temperatura Brown on Instagram, and link in bio.
Definitely, yeah. I'll definitely put everything in there you need.
My personal is Salty MTA, and link in bio as well.
Saul's the man. Thank you.
Yeah,
my guy. Right, I need one more thing, Saul. I need to get a photo with you from that camera, so I might need